Hi, I am Priya Patel. Today in this presentation, I will be discussing some of the expansion problems faced by New York City Bikes in Jersey City. City Bikes is a bike company that operates mostly in New York City but also has 84 bike stations located in Jersey City. In this dashboard, we'll be aiming to provide some insights and recommendations to help with the expansion problem specifically in Jersey City. This dashboard can be divided into four sections. The first is the impact of weather on daily bike rides throughout the year in the second side, I will be presenting a bar graph of the 20 most popular starting stations in Jersey City. In the third section, I will be plotting all of the stations on an interactive map along with the most popular routes in Jersey City. And finally, I will be summing up my insights into a series of recommendations which are mostly direction for further research. So, in this slide, you can see the daily temperature throughout the year represented by the green line, and the pink line represents the number of daily bike rides throughout the year. And there is an obvious correlation between weather and number of daily bike rides. The higher the temperature, the more bike rides there are. So the peak season in obviously in the summer months. Late May till mid September, I would say as the temperature drops in the fall, so do the number of bike rides. So I see the sharpest decline in November. But already beginning in early October, there is already a decline from the peak season. And then we really plummet into the winter month of December, January. Similarly, earlier in the year, conversely, I should say beginning from our lowest point in January in terms of bike ride and temperature, we see a rise until the peak season beginning in May. So I would recommend it scaling back on bikes in the fall, perhaps in stages and increasing the number of bikes. Again, in the winter, as we go straight into the where as we go into the peak season, and is very likely in the peak season that we are seeing the most complaints from customers about lack of bike. Another thing I would wanted to point out are the individual days where ridership is especially low. So, for example, January 29th, March 12th, and May 7th, those are abnormally low periods of ridership, low days of bike riderships compared to other days around the same time period. And those days are all Saturday. So at first I thought the I were something about Saturday in this period that caused a low ridership, but later in the year, September 6th and October 3rd, which are Tuesday and Monday, also see abnormally low ridership there. So I would do some research, or I would recommend it some further research to see why this particular days so low ridership. The last day of that is of low ridership is December 25th, but that one is quite self explanatory. So on the next slide, you can see the 20 most popular charging station in Jersey City. I am not going to spend too long on this slide because I find it more interesting to look at this on a map. But the first one is Grove Street Path, that is in an area separate from all of the other popular starting station. The next for South Waterfront Walkway, the two in Hopcon Terminal City Hall, or actually in the same area, and the next three, the sixth, seventh, and eighth most popular station. So that would be Newport Parkway, Hamilton Park, and Newport Path are also in the same area, and I will showing this on the map on the next slide. So on this map, so on this map you can see the most popular bike routes taken in Jersey City by the yellow orange parks, and just by looking at the map one can already observe three main hubs of high ridership. The busiest strip is up here in the northeast corner, the second busiest a little further south, the second hub here just west of downtown Jersey City, and further west near Indian Square is a third one, is a smaller hub. And I will be focusing on the first and second busiest hub here. So zooming in first on the second hub, you can see that the most popular routes are flowing from one main station flowing to and from one main station. And if I turn off the arcs just to illustrate my point clearly, that main hub is Grove Street Path, the most popular of the starting station, and it seems to be serving as the center of the second hub. Going up to the busier hub, here there are four stations here in the middle that are serving similarly as the center of this hub. I turn off the arc. If you remember City Hall, Abbock Terminal, and South Waterfront Walkway, those were the second, third, fourth, and fifth busiest starting stations. So these four are serving seemingly as the center of this busy area. Now, if you remember these three stations, Hamilton Park, Newport Parkway, those are the sixth, seventh, and eighth busiest stations between the two hubs, or an intermediate point between the two areas of high ridership. So I thought that was interesting thing to point out to observe here, and just do some things up a few recommendations for further study. For further analysis, the first is scale back the number of bikes after October, I would recommend it doing this in phase according to the period of noticeable decline in bike usage, and I would recommend it further statistical analysis just to go about or just to figure out how to go about scaling back on bikes, how many phases, and perhaps comparing this is previous year, as I have only presented the data from 2022, and the same thing for increasing the number of bikes from January into the warmer months. Now going making some observations and recommendations about the actual hubs, the four most popular stations near the waterfront, that was in hub number one. If you remember, I would also recommended some analysis to see if those four stations, so those were the second, third, fourth, and fifth most popular station, if they can manage being the central station of the most busy area for ridership, or if these stations should be expanded, or if additional stations should be established in that area, or if congestion is even an area and even a problem in that area. So I would recommend it further analysis for that. Similarly, in hub 2, Grove Street, which is the busiest of the stations, functions as the center of that hub. I would recommend it some analysis to see if it can handle all of that traffic there. And then lastly, my final recommendation, especially for those busy hubs, those top 5 busy stations, I would do some further research to see if they are being used primarily as origin or destination points, or both. If there are certain time of the day where they are being used as origin or destination points, if they are, for example, if it is in the morning, that they are being used as origin station, if may be important to ensure that there is enough bike always at that location, at those locations, and that can be done by replenishing the stock at those area more frequently. And conversely, if these stations are functioning more as destinations at the end of the day, then there are needs to be, those stations needs to be cleared up more frequently to ensure that there is enough docking space for people to load their bikes. And that will be required some further research, as my analysis did not cover that there. But if you have any further question about my recommendation or any of my insights, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for listening and look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you very much.